you are subject to the presbytery. In the presbytery, one coin some be share musika same because a band of welfare is one of the sources any problems every asafo no. Obi to me operating welfare sa na fi de sika no afa baby ense se fa. And yes with you. Just that afa baby ense se fa. So we have to bring it back online. Amen. So custody of welfare funds is subject to the presbytery at any level. Amen. Afi saying na you notice say a ban of welfare as I said welfare no one year friend constitution. Welfare is another source of disturbances was in sorry bimu because they be almost started welfare no man fam be and show where we are money 500 where we are money 1,000 no problem about and then I'll show you me a black do way fair into my way sika fufro and our mommy low one into yes say welfare be so what constitution actually say obi yes ya say nebe mano we yes ya say nebe mano then the presbytery should approve that constitution afi so our movement mu na more welfare at the national level you say more constitutional national no management in approve with the advice of the National Finance Committee. Afin so no welfare who kwan say on bed deposit or musika into their bank account and now ebi musu use momo account at the J or musika. But it's proper that uji sika wo momo account so cry you have to push that money into the bank account. Amen. Mbacho next slide. Mbacho next one. Okay, sisi ayen kasamfa bank signature mandate. Asoni policy ni say, say, uko yisika wo bank account BMO, say nipa mienu na sign. Nipa mienu no, enye se me presiding elder, na me ne ba na sign. Mpache no problem kakra wo ho. Ana se me ye nipa tu, me ye na sign check. Eno so enye correct. Asoni nhihye ni say say yemfa ni say a district a district pastor any presbytery secretary omo category FNA A and finance chair any finance secretary omo category FNA category B in answer na obe sika wo bank no as I say category A baako which can be the district pastor and then category B inso baako which can be the chair the finance chair or finance secretary. It looks like finance is becoming a check on executive. Executive is a check on finance. So maybe a district pastor mean to me from secretary say, Charlie Brana, you go to ACK binti yen signing. You say wrong. Ye any one side. Into ye me anu signing and ye. Just me any finance chair and a finance secretary. Maybe secretary and a private secretary should be to me another person on the other side, either the finance chair or finance secretary. That is the policy of the church. Into signature mandate be a war bank be a SSL reflected this principle. Oh, local be another district now. Mu signature mandate is different from near year kana. Presbyterian should ensure that that mandate is changed. As sorry Ninshisha said there must be signatory A and category A and B. One from each side will suffice for signing of any amount from the bank account. Amen. Sana local and so even headquarters and then area administration, so area superintendent, area staff secretary on one side, that is A, and then finance chair, and then finance secretary the other side. Nano obi can story be chair me or say not sorry for hano ni problem ni say or no finance chair but ne papa and a presbytery on the presiding elder but your problem or one. Ono na finance chair ne papa ye presiding elder into almost sign the check boom. I sorry for ne say bi musi omonti ase. Is there a problem with it? So though they have satisfied the law, there's a problem. Law ne say presbytery presiding elder any finance chair. But it so happens say finance chair presiding elder neba. And there no mushia wo fia. Hey, Kofi, daddy, means you fees no, and no much miss any fees. I mean, cause on base out, but by mistake, on bit me a sign. Almost shed us almost sign by mistake, no more signing. Ain't he? In principle, ni asori ni can say there must be segregation. There must not be any relationship. One can influence the other. And he said, asori ni signature A ni B. Now me presiding that me ban a financial. So who say something must happen. As I say, yes, it's about I had a presiding that beko na financial beko, but one beko. And the financial may go say it's about. So we must ensure that this principle happens in our locals. Amen. After you will be a friend in electronic banking. In sorry baby wo momo account and kofu chiesika etoso. It's a bit tricky because we share momo account. Policy ni say you are not allowed to obey payment from that momo account. Amen. Amen. Sorry, they say momo account. Say ne be obey account for me. Nya can say sike bia ya sorry dia no bia ne emfa ne seko. Sorry sike bia emfa ne seko. But you say coin. I say bank account. Sorry sike bia and touch a bank account you to mean di. Udi enye ye. I say touch it and send away. And touch it to mean. Amen. Into jisika no wo momo. Amen namba. Amen. Aha. I say mo ka amen na me hu say by the way, and Shadan Yede into Mufanchemi, Basanete. Into a sorry, CKB, I say, they can call bank account him. Into say a momo and a wajia. As I said, find a way over wire momo into the bank account. You are not permitted, so obey use a momo account to make payment. A balance account is very difficult. Because you can ojia. As I say, your reconciliation, I say, o bank account and o cash book, no more casa. But who Sikano is in transit, no spending. Into all Momo accounts and electronic banking piano, and so making sure that Sikano now moves into the bank account. Amen. Amen. No. But here can say, Abia say, I would advise that you don't do that because your account will be very difficult. But your next slide. Sekobani say, it won't be here say we ya. Nya sorry ne can say, sa device na mobile phone a proper says me na me financial sa device me jama me chair and I say the head of the church say own keep his device. If we have to make a payment as I say in the presence of both signatories into me na me financial as I say me spending officer here district pastor and area apostle woho before we spend and no crano as I say under circumstances will be ye. But it's advisable to say, CKBia or BGBia electronically, bia manindi can call bank account before you spend. Amen. But your next slide. Medikai akasa afa keeping of petty cash. Mean sign in. But your next slide. Medikai akasa afa mean can one thing be only to say that make sure say sorry no presbytery we discuss what should be your petty cash float and then you manage it. And no, ni petty cash. Temptation of ujisika na wo spending ebeto auditors bar ubenya sem. And say sikebia obejibia ube yusu sika no na ode ni aka ne beko bank account. Very important. So let's take note. Inti ni ebeboa to avoid this temptation is to have a petty cash that you are running. Amen. Afe finance and audit committees. Sorry no area level, any district level, and as area level and national level, near friend of audit committees. Now, audit committees, you say, more share your books, Musa, Nyama, Ekoya, and normally they report about. But you want to audit your local assemblies there. Okay. So, what the NDA, they will come. They will audit your account. Sometimes, district pastor be a few to me ba ebi won so ehun be hia say obi few hands on maba omo sure they can choose to come to your place but here can say proper say district nso anka obenya audit but uni bia obetumi rely on audit committee na wo area level na say obetumi put together and conform onimdie e wo audit one obetumi aboa o se na be ya usika sem ana obehwe ama bebia Nyama bi enkoye no on be CC e de amount. Amen. Afia sorry no How do we spend? Expenditure and payment process. Kwan ben ye faso na ye spend this sika. Ni di kind no. Ade bia person you bia, you must first discuss. Catch your mama said discuss. A sound practice. Bibia o person ye bia. As I say, get obi to me who say na person ye. Want to me mba so keke say na me ko and me ko to about 3,000 inti ma ba me beje. Ye nya sa. Catch you say one yen them. Aha. I want to me spend it from wow will or how say must spend it in me beje. Ye nya sa. First no, as I say discuss the expenditure. Afin so as I say area, district, local be a more near friend budget. Into so she say o budget ni muno o provision for that. And now you raise what you call memo and now say be more near friend voucher. Ube raise voucher. Ube also say a request for so and so to buy maybe battery of so much. Now for the wa attach the necessary documents, maybe invoices. Now for the approval area, and then they will pay you. Amen. Until there's a process. In all these systems, no, any horse frustrate you. But I saw you are making sure say, Osika sem pepe no da no wada. You are free. The righteous as bold as a lion. You are bold because system ekas and then you can sleep. But it happen to some people. And you say scan with you. But when you are sure say pay beba, another may be records. Records in Chile. We are to battery. We are you say nyama processes in your sikano year offering, but and call bank never call after 1 month, a bibeko 2 weeks, a bibeko sisia last week, the uncle away ye nyama basa anti a banisana ye bisa question now jina hodi ubisa say sikanundi about one shesu ye man yama anko ye a bit to me affected. So we must make sure that the right thing is done. Not because you are spending them, but ensure that the right thing is done. Amen. And then there will be a friend of financial controls. And so, please, next slide. We must make sure that you be comply with TACMS. Obia HIA tights are mumpamucho yan recorded with TACMS nimu. Pepe person and nipandi buy and obrel 600 CDs 68 pesos. Pepe no libi no labalaba. No de buy pepe ne achro. Afin so it is proper say ye be ye friend a bank reconciliation. Now no, I came across BB in a welfare account, not in church, but secular. Welfare account, maybe 3 months answer. Somebody was using the account for money laundering. A proper say o bank account no, ube biyeweni. Ashen yama cost or bank account very well. A bank they make errors sometimes. A proper say every time number near friend a bank reconciliation statement. As a church, transactions are here and only say end of month and not end of quarter. We be our bank say, Mama me bank statement. Also or cash booker, Bibia Uchia be out true. Ube shemu say, me trust a bank, Munchia 1,003. Maybe a bank now recorded 1,005. Now what your mind be to say, me trust 1,003, check me 1,003. No more correct. But we did the almost on bedding. Amen. Always check your bank account. One year somebody may trade with your bank account without knowing. Always check your bank account. Now make it the proper reconciliation. Often so one measure of financial control you say you be your friend is segregation of duties. Mpacho enye proper say nipa baako. One out o kan sika no. One na chro ye. One de call bank. Okoto dia one na be iska. One na be to the invoice be one na be sign na wa retire one person. Yes a drink kakra. Financially enye sound. Here can say there must be proper segregation of duty. Your approval no. It's not proper say me approve sika na me amaje. And as a me sign check e ba me nchen. Please, are we getting it? Me sign check e ba me nchen. So it wasn't wrong. There was no wrong intention, but at the end of the day, no, BBC a best spark a certain intention say, "Onwa sikano no manage ye no ne kasa no mucho no odiye." Into there must be segregation of duty. Nipa all kinds sikano is different from near otro. Your quarter idea is different from your approving. Your sign check, different from your or Jisicano. Your quarter idea different from your Disicanema. After the near Okoto, they know about retire. There must be segregation. And so one person, a share transaction, no baby. And no sano, in same P. And no na debiano, me can say. Only obi ya de tasi wo Christians tasi o say oh eya sorry fi enti obi cancer ya ese yen hwe ni yi o because cancer sorry enti no obeto no thousands what on 2000 o say sorry enti me sa na na ya na misuro kakra sorry enti yen bie ye ni obi say sorry ni enti so na o pray sorry no ade no kwa abonte ento no 150 o say sorry enti so mo to no 250 o say ha na misumi chi atai say me didi mu no didi wo ho into a proper say segregation of duties. Near all your way is different from near all your other things. Amen. Afe a proper say auditors in bow or cry umwa say ubisa say auditor mumbra number or the timika cry. Afe says sorry no sorry bia moye monthly, quarterly and annual report. More call presbytery ma finance for emfa cash book number presbytery. Namumbisa questions bia mo pebia. It's part of the accountability of the church. After so mun use what we call the local control and a finance control book. Ehun hia pa eboamo ma mu controlli niama in the local assembly. Book na bi nie please control book no ema date nipa ahen e ba sorry tithe ahen na oji ye Thanksgiving offering ahen e ba ye afi offering ahen e ba special offering any imema ahen e ba sorry ma he one e preach ye a short record nti o feel this book we are every day no offer record because me when you see there's a whole Sunday a good record for you to know nipa hin about sorry what happened and all those things into the local finance control book is a good record for all of us. Amen. The next slide please. The next thing is about budgeting. When the main chair hokra budgeting is not a prediction. Predicting ye basic but you plan. It's sorry, you're planning at the area level, national level, area level, district level, local level. So we are planning. Planning is simple. It's all share operations as a church. Every year, me annual program back home, me to say. Na ya try to ho. Every year, be a investment back home. Every year, be a capital project back home. They say, this year, they see and you say a better van. Na matro atuho. Ade bia mota ye bia na matro cho motintim ni atuho. Sa ne ma ne friend budgeting. Into sha say o run the financial year. O sha say o compare niama o kan say o be ye no ene ne awoye no. Into a guide o. Into obetumi hu say oh ye ka say ye be ye say. Ba afide ye call abontin no niama ne boa ye din. But ye can say ye spending more than this aye ho be kire. Into ye be half. Na later ya ne aka. Into budget e boa to guide the church. Osho movements movement no every year no nkola na person mo ko picnic ba ko na mo ko program wa bontin nkola na mo ye 50 so you spend 100 we ba ko so kra e be so much na ya try to until o start year na nothing comes by surprise because niam o person o ye nyina no wa hwe ni nyina from January to December ehun say sika say na mehia though it may not be perfect it may become a good guide for you when you start and by policy as I say sorry be at the local districts and area level no you prepare your budget. See I can say we are now in August. Me sure it's a very soon national best started rolling out their budget, planning for their financial year that is 2026. Area best here, district be your na local and so I in the budget. Amen. Amen. Okay, quickly, Mamin Kasamfa statistics in ministry. Statistics in ministry. Misha se kasa me kan say akuntabuo ewo Bible is very spiritual. Me can say there's a relationship between spirituality and accountability. On to me can say oh you're very spiritual when you are not accountable. Because Ushe Yesu Christo ankasa most of the parables that he spoke about 16 of them nina efa how to account say inkutabuo into ministry munsuno inkutabo nso ewomu. Amen. Ministry is simply when one is truly serving. Feedback is so be serving very well. Feedback is valuable. The feedback is always best when it comes out of statistics. Ministry is stewardship over people and resources. Into unse, asori na ye no, onyankopon de niam bi e de aman, e na odi nipa nso e de aman. Se ye bu nkunta e de aman osma ye nse, nia osma ye no. Se na ye, aha na ye kodu ye to aso efiri ha. Asori bia omu ni data a ebe kire omu, niam esese omu ye no, omu niam bi ka kire. Untumi asori untumi nkyere se the whole year nipa ahe na besra me unim omo besra uni omudin sika unya ye unhu tu ye de hu se tithe se do so anesha uni records inti uni records about your church and all these statistics and wow ma untumi take a very good decision about your church inti feedback bia wo hia bia no e wo hia nipa bia wo ha ye se ne oto sa no onim se den ne chi achia. Inti no, how would you get that feedback? That feedback comes through statistics. Inti asori bia ese ye subject ye hu bisa ye hu se e den na nipa kan fa ye hu. Sa feedback no ubenya no from statistics. It says statistics need to me kire o say na eko. January bia me tight wo soro, February na akofom, March na akofom, na June abaso. De inti na yesa ese onya data se na bia ubetumi interpret it. Sa data no and as feedback no comes from statistics. Into statistics, a science of collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data. Into information into information on your tithe, or collecting a data. Information on a data. And now Pastor Cram about assets. Assets are a data. Adebia nyankopon dia maye bia resources ni paying na no. Sa information on those in a collection. Afeno ubwa sa information no in a certain way you are doing what we call organizing. Now fi dey sa data no o hwemu outumi hu say o analyzing ni say o hwe data ne senia ete. And after there you do what we call interpreting the data into betumi afine reasons. I can say, oh, January no nkofo gi bonus into salary was through into me who say tithe was through. So you are interpreting the data. Hu ni ntia afi ubisa hu say aden na do June na nkofo ba so na say aden na edu sutomri nkofo ba sorry. How would you know say sutomri nkofo ba so ntimi mbo wadwimo? Sometimes in church Mitrisha congregation is like I can say and then nkofo ba sorry. But koji data now is different. The data tells you something different. You may be wrong. Statistics will give you the right thing to tell you that this number. This number. So you can tell that, oh, me ma sorry ni edu sa mri ya. Nipa ne so te. So you must find out nipa no so te a reason bang.